Hello, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Emma Vardy and Roger Johnson.
Our headlines today. The stage is set, and so are alarm clocks as England prepare to face Mexico in their World Cup knockout match in the early hours.
More than 100 riot police in bulletproof vests are guarding the England team after they received a hostile reception in Mexico City.
Good morning. Yes, England have a lot to contend with at the Azteca. Mexico, the altitude, some bad memories, with Thomas Tuchel saying this England side is ready to write its own World Cup chapter.
Nigel Farage faces fresh allegations he may have broken parliamentary rules after he reportedly failed to declare benefits from a donor convicted of fraud in the United States.
Fireworks light up the sky across the US to mark the 250th anniversary of American independence.
The tingling fresh toothpaste that does your gums good too.
As the largest archive of adverts in Britain celebrates its 50th anniversary, we look back at some of the classics.
And good morning. While northern areas of the UK will once again be quite cloudy with some outbreaks of rain in the south, well, the heat is really going to start to build from today. Temperatures getting up to 30 degrees Celsius, even hotter by midweek. I'll bring you the forecast very shortly.
Good morning. It is Sunday, the 5th of July. Are you ready? Our main story today, the England football manager Thomas Tuchel says his side is relishing the chance to play at the Azteca Stadium as they prepare to take on Mexico.
Now, in the final hours before kick-off, security has been ramped up outside England's hotel, including more than 100 riot police in bulletproof vests after the team received, a hostile reception on arrival. Our correspondent Will Grant has more.
If England thought security was tight for their earlier games, they haven't seen anything like Mexico. The hosts' last opponents complained to FIFA after fans kept their players awake with car horns and chanting. A ring of steel is on hand this time to ensure there's no repeat. But when Thomas Tuchel and his men left for a final training session, it was to as many boos as cheers.
Mexican fans want to make this experience as uncomfortable as they can for England, and the noise that is greeting these players as they leave their hotel is nothing compared to what they can expect in the Azteca Stadium. A cauldron of football with some very bad memories for England.
At their fortress of the Azteca Stadium. Certainly Mexicans say they're not worried.
This is going to be very different for England. They're not used to this atmosphere, these fans, this climate. The game's going to be amazing.
This is the clash most travelling England fans have been waiting for. The rivalry intense but good-natured.
Do you have any room on the bus?
If we hold them off, even go 1 or 2 up, they're going to get hostile. They're going to turn on their own, and the pressure's on them. So we just got to do our thing, haven't we, and turn up.
So you actually think that the pressure's on Mexico this time?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, they're home. They've got look at this place. It's all set up for them. It's not for us. They're under pressure.
FIFA had wanted to bring the match forward over concerns about a thunderstorm, but after a U-turn, kick-off is still at 1 a.m. UK time. At home, schools, businesses and emergency services continue to prepare for the possible knock-on effects of a game which will finish in the small hours. England have only had hours to train in Mexico City's altitude. In a late boost, though, Jarell Quansah is back in training to give them options on the right of defence. The manager, and they'll need to put in a far more convincing performance if they're to extinguish their hosts' dreams of putting out one of the favourites on home turf. Will Grant, BBC News, Mexico City.
Shall we chat to Hugh, who's here? Goes without saying, when you get to this stage of a World Cup, it's going to be a tough one, especially against a side that's so good at home.
Yeah, and there's an extra stage, isn't there, in this World Cup? So you're going to have to go through it one more time should England get as far as they want to get. But there is not just the team, there is not just Mexico in Mexico City, is everything that is around it. You've got the altitude, which we heard from Will is very difficult to deal with, particularly both Thomas Tuchel and Jordan Henderson, who spoke last night, saying that it's the first 15, 20 minutes. That's the really tough point to try and overcome that. And if you look at Mexico's games so far, they have won every single one. They have not conceded any goals, but they've not scored, apart from one when they were already winning the game, in the last quarter of the game. So you get the impression that games tend to get a little placid when everybody's a little bit puffed. But you've also got these bad Azteca memories. The last time that England played a World Cup game at the Azteca, 40 years ago, a hand of God and one of the goals of all time from Diego Maradona to give Argentina a win in the Azteca. It was in the quarter-finals that time, and this is the point that England are trying to reach by winning later on. Whether you get up, whether you stay up, whether you go to bed first, however you do it, the quarter-finals is what England want to be in by the end of it.
And Peter Shilton, who featured in that game, will join us later in the programme.
Poor you, having to ask him about all those bad memories.
Poor him.
Thanks very much, Hugh.
Thanks, Hugh. Now, Nigel Farage's spokesman has denied fresh allegations that he may have broken parliamentary rules. A report in the Sunday Times suggests the Reform UK leader failed to declare benefits from a donor who was convicted of fraud in the United States. Our political correspondent Nick Eardley has more.
The Sunday Times is reporting today that Nigel Farage received staffing and security provided by a man called George Cottrell. He is a long-standing ally of Mr Farage, and he admitted one count of wire fraud in the United States back in 2017. Now, the Sunday Times also reports that Mr Farage used a property rented by Mr Cottrell. Now, under the rules that MPs have to follow, they have to declare any financial interests in the 12 months before they are elected to Parliament, although purely personal gifts or benefits are exempt under the rules. A spokesman for Mr Farage said the story was baseless and covered a period where he wasn't an active politician. They denied that any rules had been broken. But the Reform leader is already facing a parliamentary probe over a £5 million gift from a billionaire Reform donor. It wasn't registered. Mr Farage says it was a personal gift for security and argues, therefore, that he didn't have to declare it.
Let's take a look at some of the other day's stories now. Authorities in Venezuela say the number of people who died in last month's twin earthquakes has risen to nearly 3,000. More than 40,000 people are believed to be missing. Communities continue to work alongside rescue workers from around the world to search through the rubble in the state of La Guaira, one of the worst hit areas. A nationwide public holiday is being marked in Iran on the second official day of funeral ceremonies for the country's supreme leader. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed in joint US-Israeli airstrikes in February. Our chief international correspondent, Lise Doucette, is reporting from Tehran on the condition that none of her material is used on the BBC's Persian service. These restrictions apply to all international media organisations operating in Iran.
A massive funeral like this takes massive preparations, including centres like this rest station right on the outskirts of Tehran. There are lots of these inside the city. As people come on these buses, one has just pulled up, bringing Iranians from across this country. Here they can queue, men in one line, women in the other, to get food and water and to rest. They tell us they're heading to Tehran. They want to be able to go to the vast Mosala complex where the former supreme leader is lying in state. And then on Monday, what's expected to be a huge procession carrying his coffins through the streets of Tehran. Millions are expected to turn out. Many will, but many won't. Those who suffered during the restrictions and repression of his nearly 4 decades of rule. In the midst of this morning, this is an intensely political moment. You'll see on all of the photographs and the flags a clenched fist, a symbol of resistance and also revenge. A message from the leaders of this Islamic Republic. The war assassinated their supreme leader and many others, but they're still standing and still in charge.
President Trump has said the American dream is back during a speech in Washington to mark the 250th anniversary of US independence. The event was heavily delayed due to rising temperatures as well as thunderstorms. Our North America correspondent Hugh Griffith has more.
On a landmark birthday, a monumental celebration. All choreographed to show the strength of a nation by land, by sea and by air. Except a heatwave across multiple states made heavy weather of the birthday plans. In Washington, they sweltered under the sun to get in.
All guests must seek shelter
Before being evacuated in fear of a storm. Even so, it didn't dampen the mood.
I'm burning up right now, but, you know, we're dealing with it. We're all struggling, but anyway.
Hotter than heck. Just drinking lots of water, lots of tank tops or vests, as you guys say. Trying to stay as cool as I can be.
It is incredible. I mean, there's nothing like being an American. I love our country. It's the greatest country in the world, and so it's just an honor and incredible to be here. And seeing all the other patriotic people coming out here it's a real blessing.
The original plans for this big 250th party were largely sidelined by the Trump White House. Its Freedom 250 celebrations are a lot more focused on the president and his view of American supremacy by economic force and military might.
When, later than billed, the president eventually took to the stage, these were themes he leant into, while stressing his own place in history.
We rebuilt our military in my first term. We used it a little bit in our, actually I should say third term, but I won't do that because I don't want any controversy. But we use it and we've had tremendous success. You look at Venezuela, you look at Iran, we wiped out their military.
To follow a president who wants everything to be big and beautiful, something spectacular in scale. A fireworks show billed as the largest ever on the planet, celebrating a nation that projects itself as the world's dominant force. Howell Griffith, BBC News, Washington.
So from the fireworks in the United States, will there be fireworks on the pitch tonight? Let's return to our main story, England's World Cup match against Mexico. Lots of excitement ahead of the big clash, and even a group of chihuahuas and their owners are out in Mexico City to show their support.
Oh, little cuties, look at that. Now, one said she hopes people see that chihuahuas, which are native to Mexico, are not a grumpy breed of dog. I didn't know they were particularly grumpy, are they?
I didn't either. I suppose it depends on the result.
Yeah.
He might not be very happy if England win that one there.
Don't mess with chihuahuas. Right, Simon's here with the weather. I mean, gosh, we've only just cooled off from the last heat wave. Another one on us.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got a heatwave building through the next few days. Temperatures really ramping up through today, actually, across southern areas. But it's a lovely start to the day here in Devon. We've got a beautiful sunrise. There is some cloud out there across some southwestern areas of England, across Wales as well. A bit of drizzle as well. But let's talk about that heatwave because it's really going to start to build from today. Temperatures getting up to 30 degrees. But by midweek, we'll see temperatures around the southeast of England about 33, 34 degrees. Even further north across England, temperatures up into 30 Celsius. No heat wave, though, for Scotland, for Northern Ireland, and that's because we've got this high pressure here. Weather fronts, though, will continue to plague Scotland and Northern Ireland, and through today we've got some rain, which will turn quite heavy in western Scotland, perhaps some brightness for a time in the far northeast. The rain clearing from Northern Ireland. But further south, a bit of cloud drifting around. Generally, though, there'll be more sunshine as we go into the afternoon. And that's where temperatures will get up into the mid-20s, but up to the high 20s in the southeast of England, potentially 30 Celsius. Further north, it will feel fresher. So for Wimbledon today, yes, it's going to be pretty hot. Remember the sun cream if you're heading there. Temperatures getting up to 28 to 29 Celsius. And then in Mexico City, well, there is still showers in the forecast. The possibility of a thunderstorm. These are local times, so kick-off is around this time here. Temperatures about 17 degrees Celsius, but we'll be keeping a close eye on the thundery activity around Mexico City. Now, through the rest of tonight across England and Wales, there'll be some clear skies. Still some rain, though, coming into the west of Scotland into the early hours of Monday morning. Overnight temperatures, pretty similar to last night, really, about 14 to 16 or 17 degrees. Going into next week, then, what I said that for Scotland, for Northern Ireland, will continue with these weather fronts just coming in over the top of this area of high pressure, which keeps things more settled across England and Wales. So lots of sunshine on Monday. It's going to warm up really quite quickly on Monday. Further north, though, you can see, again, there'll be some rain at times for northern and particularly northwestern areas of Scotland. Temperatures here are about 16 to 20 degrees. Further south, though, again, temperatures getting up into the mid to the high 20s and low 30s. Tuesday is looking a little bit drier across Scotland, but again, it's a similar situation with quite a bit of cloud. The clearest skies further south, where again, temperatures will be getting up into the high 20s, low 30s. Further north, you might just see some of the heat starting to creep up a little bit into northern areas of England. But this heat wave that we're going to see develop is going to be quite prolonged. Look at the outlook here for Cardiff and London. Temperatures, up into the low 30s, for much of the week. 34 degrees is possible, as I said, by midweek. Scotland and Northern Ireland, however, while it will turn warmer, temperatures low 20s, there will be some drier conditions compared to the next couple of days where there'll be some outbreaks of rain. But of course, you can find out what the temperature is going to be in your town or city by going to the BBC weather app. But certainly a hot week ahead.
Thanks, Simon. Look at all that sun coming here and in Mexico. Got to keep an eye on that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Thank you.
16 minutes past 6 now. We're going to talk adverts, whether it's Martians laughing at how we mash potato, remember that one? Smash. A gorilla playing the drums, or a boy pushing a heavy bike up a steep hill to deliver bread. Is that Hovis? I think it was. Adverts have become part of our culture.
I can hear the tune as the boy goes up the hill. Now, for the last 50 years, a trust in Norfolk has been collecting more than 10 million items to document how advertising has helped shape the nation. Our reporter, Alex Dunlop, has been taking a look behind the scenes.
Hidden in the East Anglian countryside, half a century of magical make-believe. Entry is free, just off the B1136.
Well, that's one we made earlier. Not that great, but if you want to know the true art of advertising, follow me. From books to posters to film reels, the history of Advertising Trust in South Norfolk is home to 10 million items, spanning more than 3 centuries of homegrown ads. This from 1955, Gibbs SR, the first advert on British TV.
The tingling fresh toothpaste that does your gums good too.
Alistair shows me the oldest advert in the archive from 1684.
We can see an ad here for fire insurance.
Not very gripping, is it?
No, it's not. And there's no, as you can see, there's no kind of imagery or anything. It's just text. This is, typical of the kind of very early ads.
And as for the most famous, well, take your pick from an iconic back catalogue.
Will Gold Blend be too good for your guests?
Oh, I think they could get used to it.
For mash, get smash.
Were you truly wafted here from paradise?
No, Luton Airport.
Now, here's an advert from the 1960s.
Exceedingly good cakes, he says.
Now, get a slogan right and it sticks. And here is the original idea scribbled on a piece of paper. I think you'll agree, an exceedingly good pitch.
It's part of our culture, it's part of society, it's part of the way we are now. Advertising has helped shape the nation. And it's important to look back to move forwards. And that's our tagline in our 50th year.
Some adverts shocked at the time, this from 1969 for contraception. Some were downright misleading or dishonest. And this ad using animals would not be made today.
Dad, do you know the piano's on my foot?
You hum it, son. I'll play it.
What's your favourite ad? Oh, mine is definitely the Hamlet photo booth with Gregor Fisher, where he's adjusting his hair and then the seat goes down and he finally has enough and this plume of smoke comes up for Hamlet.
Last stop on round would be old Ma Peggotty's place.
Half a century since this iconic masterpiece was directed by Ridley Scott, the media landscape has been transformed, and this industry is having to adapt.
Influencers now play a big part in how adverts are created. Social media plays a massive part. They're all driven by screen time.
While it celebrates its heritage, this Norfolk-based charity is looking forward to the next 50 years in a creative industry which is designed to sell, but also to entertain.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Alex Dunlop, BBC News.
Brings back memories, doesn't it?
Well, I grew up without a TV, so I've had to learn a lot of these adverts in retrospect,
And it's interesting to think, as the media landscape has become more fractured, as we all know, whether those TV ads, which they all are, will have the same impact going forward because people see ads in different places.
I just remember at school knowing adverts just from people singing the theme tunes. You know, didn't even need to watch the advert. That's a sign of a good one, isn't it? We remember it. Right, let's take a look in the papers today. Some headlines. The Sunday Times we're starting with. It's got claims that Nigel Farage may have broken parliamentary rules. The report suggests the Reform UK leader may have failed to declare benefits from a donor who was convicted of fraud in the United States. Mr Farage's spokesman has denied the allegation and described the investigation as baseless and a contrived story.
The Mail on Sunday says that Andy Burnham is plotting a financial raid on swathes of homeowners by introducing what it calls a punitive mansion tax regime. The paper claims that Mr Burnham plans to lower the threshold for the extra levy to include homes worth £1.5 million. That, of course, assuming that he becomes Labour leader and thus Prime Minister.
Kicking off, that's the headline in the Sunday Mirror. It's all because of FIFA's decision to U-turn on bringing forward England's game tonight. Calling it a World Cup fiasco, the paper says pub landlords across the UK are angered by what it called dithering over the kick-off time.
The Telegraph also previews tonight's clash against Mexico in the World Cup. It has a picture of fans in England shirts in Mexico City. The paper says that more than 7,000 officers will be deployed to the stadium over safety concerns. Coverage on the BBC, of course, tonight.
Actually, well, all that excitement is, of course, building ahead of England's game against Mexico at the Azteca Stadium tonight.
Pubs, schools, communities all preparing for that 1 a.m. kick-off, including one estate in Shepherd's Bush in London, who've decorated their whole neighbourhood with England flags, and Sam Harrison has been to see them.
In a small neighbourhood in Shepherd's Bush, one topic is dominating conversation. Welcome to Kelmscott Gardens, renowned for its England-themed decorations every single major tournament. Residents here have once again turned the apartments into a sea of red and white, capturing the attention of people in the local area. And that attention is all thanks to this mother and daughter combo. 80-year-old Eileen and her 56-year-old daughter Michelle have lived as neighbours for decades and organised the flag bonanza every time. So when did all this start?
1980. It was many years ago, many years ago, but always with pride. I'm so proud of my daughter for doing it because I can't anymore, and the community, they love it.
I find it very phenomenal that the amount of people that actually stop and take pictures, drive by, drive in, drive past, and you're like, wow, really, that many people? But so it makes you feel good that you've done it.
I just want them to win. Then we can have a big celebration.
It's absolutely incredible seeing the effort that they've gone to decorate this building. Flags going all the way up the side of the building, in people's windows, and even an enormous bunting which stretches from the front gate right up to the third floor. So with so much excitement surrounding this big game, this is the perfect place to talk England and to ask people what they think about this Mexico clash.
I'm incredibly hopeful. I think it's going to be 2-0, but
I think they might draw or they might potentially lose.
I'm going to say 2-1 England.
1-1 full time, and then into extra time came for 2-1.
Anywhere between like 2-1 or 3-2 to England.
If I was optimistic about England, it'd be 2-1. But if I'm being like, then I'd say 1-0, to be honest. Optimistic.
It's going to go
2-1.
up to penalties.
Yeah, penalties. That's true. Actually.
You've basically given me every scoreline in the world there. What do you think the score's going to be?
I think it's going to be about 3-1.
To England? Come on. A range of thoughts, but ultimately though, in this neck of the woods, the opinions of two residents in particular are held in especially high regard. Big game. Are you going to be staying up for it?
Yes, of course. If I nod off in half time, I'll make sure I've got my alarm on to wake me up again.
You need to keep up with it then.
No, listen, my telly's outside when we watch the match. It actually sits there on a chair and we gather around here and watch it.
You're going to have it out on the balcony at 1 a.m.
My TV will be here and I will be on my chair with my coffee.
What's your score prediction?
My score is 2-2.
2-2.
Yeah.
England winning on penalties?
Yes, definitely. Come on, Harry.
Bold predictions then for a big night ahead. Sam Harrison, BBC News in Shepherd's Bush.
Love Eileen.
I think I'll
Come on,
head down
Eileen.
there. Watch it with those guys. They're all
Absolutely.
ready, aren't they? Right, Hugh's back with us. Hugh, I mean, just how daunting a prospect is it for England then heading to the Azteca?
Well, the daunting nature of the prospect might actually be starting around now because they've pretty much just gone to bed in Mexico City. They're 7 hours behind. And given what happened to Ecuador the night before their last 32 game in Mexico City, there was quite a lot of commotion outside their hotel, at which point authorities had to be called and they set up a little bit of a perimeter outside of the hotel. Now, that has been put in place, as we heard from Will Grant earlier, a little bit in advance this time. So hopefully if there is any screaming and shouting that's going on right now, people banging drums, the England team will not hear it. Earplugs. They work for most of us, don't they, earplugs? But yeah, earplugs will be necessary because you're right. It is going to be tricky tomorrow. And it's not just the team that they face. This is the 10th best team in the world, but also everything that sits around it, which we will spend the morning talking about. Whether you're staying up or maybe you're getting up early. It will be an interesting night tonight as England play Mexico at the famous Azteca as they look to make it through to the quarter-finals of the World Cup. They've had plenty to deal with in the build-up, a potential change to the kick-off time, which was then reversed, the heat and the altitude. They've had limited time to acclimatise in Mexico City before facing a team that are ranked 10th in the world. Well, we have two quarter-finalists already, and the World Cup favourites France were made to sweat to book their place, with Kylian Mbappe scoring a penalty. It was just enough to help them past a resolute Paraguay. Next up for them, Morocco, who ended co-host Canada's run at the tournament. Joe Linsky has more.
July the 4th in Philadelphia, and for France and Paraguay, a battle won't stop Kylian Mbappe.
1-0 France. As much relief as there is joy.
His 7th goal at this World Cup gives him the joint goal France to exit. To get this far marked progress, but it still hurts to leave the stage. Joe Linsky, BBC News.
Just like a knee injury ended her comeback at Queen's from her partner, this time it was Serena Williams' own knee that prevented her from continuing it at Wimbledon. She's been forced to withdraw from the doubles, while Arthur Ferry produced a stunning comeback to retain his place as the last British player left in the singles. Here's Katie Gordon.
It was exhausting, it was exhilarating, but Wimbledon's fairy tale continues. Arthur Ferry had been 2 sets and 4-1 down against Zizou Bergs of Belgium. How he battled back. On a raucous Court 18, the only thing stopping him were nosebleeds, 3 in total, but somehow the wild card kept his cool, and after more than 4.5 hours, he did it. Ferry, who grew up in Wimbledon, hasn't travelled far, but he's come a long way.
Before Wimbledon started, few would have expected Arthur Ferry to be the last Briton standing in the singles. Now he's fought his way into the last 16.
I don't know what's going on right now. It's going to take some time to really digest it, but yeah, it's so many first times after this match. And yeah, I mean, just so glad.
But not all the headlines today were positive. After injuring her knee in the singles, Serena Williams has been unable to recover. She said she was heartbroken to withdraw from the doubles. I did everything I could, she said, but unfortunately my knee just isn't ready to compete. It means the fans won't get a chance to see her reunited with her sister Venus. Together, they were 6 times champions. But the biggest shock of the day saw 21-year-old Alexandra Ayala knock out the defending champion Iga Świątek, the first player from the Philippines to reach the 4th round of a major.
This achievement may seem small, but for someone who grew up in the Philippines, and this is everything.
A history maker still writing her story. Katie Gordon, BBC News, Wimbledon.
And here's a little something from Wimbledon that has caused a bit of a debate about whether it's good sportsmanship or a little too crafty for its own good. It's from Alexander Bublik, who has a bit of history for underarm serves, and he caught Frances Tiafoe very much off guard with that one in their 3rd round match. 15-year-old Vaibhav Suryavanshi became the youngest man to play for India. Man, kind of, just. But England managed to overcome him and his team to claim a 4-wicket win in the second T20 of the series at Old Trafford. India and Suryavanshi batted first, and despite hitting 2 big sixes, the teenager was out for 14 as his side made 190 for 7. England's own young star, Jacob Bethel, was the key to the run chase after he scored an unbeaten 76 to guide his side home. Although at 22, he might have felt a little bit old yesterday. England have a 1-0 series lead. There are 3 games of it to go. Meanwhile, there's a real shot in an England team winning some silverware tonight, and they're first since 2017. You won't have to stay up beyond 1 a.m. to witness it either. England faced Australia in the T20 World Cup final at Lord's, which for the hosts represents the culmination of a lot of work through the winter.
Some people were playing T20 in different countries around the world. Some people were training and upskilling. But yeah, I guess where we've got to is a group of really confidently skilled cricketers.
Championship leader Kimi Antonelli will hope he can replicate his sprint race victory when he starts on pole for the main event at the British Grand Prix later at Silverstone. Antonelli caught and passed the Ferrari of sprint pole sitter Lewis Hamilton on lap 8 of the race. He never looked back, becoming the youngest driver to win a Formula 1 sprint race and extend his championship lead over Mercedes teammate George Russell to 43 points. England's start to the new Nations Championship in rugby union was a chastening one, thrashed 45-21 by world champion South Africa in Johannesburg on day 1 of the competition that pits the best of Northern and Southern Hemisphere teams against each other. England hadn't won at Ellis Park since 1972. Their record in South Africa as a whole isn't much better, but the Springboks rang in 7 tries in a ruthless display. England have not won a game since defeating Wales in the opening round of the Six Nations. While the rest of the Northern Hemisphere teams faced long flights to the other side of the world this week, Wales stayed in Cardiff to take on Fiji, who are playing all their matches in the UK this summer. And that taste of home served Wales well as they won 39-24, with Josh Adams' opportunistic try, the pick of the 6 that they scored. And as Wales beat Italy in the last game of the Six Nations, that means they've won back-to-back tests for the first time since the 2023 World Cup. Scotland opened their campaign with an impressive 7-try win against Argentina in Cordoba, having squandered a 21-0 lead in their defeat to the same team in the autumn. There was no danger of that this time. Scotland clinical in attack, scoring with their first 3 visits to the 22. Next up, South Africa on Saturday. Ben Donaldson missed a penalty kick with the last play of the game for Australia as Ireland began their campaign with a 33-31 win in Sydney. Australia led at the break after 7 tries were scored in a very open first half, but just 3 followed in the second as the game tightened up. Tom Clarkson burrowing over to win the game for Ireland as it turned out, a 6th in a row against Australia. Super League's Magic Weekend continues today with Leeds Rhinos attempting to pull further clear at the top of the table with their game against Bradford Bulls. Everton's Hill Dickinson Stadium is the new host venue for the slate of derby games over the weekend, with Hull KR beating Hull FC yesterday. Defending champions Rovers were being held at 12-all, but scored twice to win by 26 points to 12. One of the other fixtures saw Lee denting Warrington's title hopes with a dominant win. And Keely Hodgkinson fell short in her latest attempt to beat the 800-metre world record at the Diamond League event in Eugene, in Oregon, in the States. The Olympic champion neck and neck with world champion Lillian Odera in Oregon, but the Kenyan powered down the home straight to take the victory. Hodgkinson's next opportunity to break the record could come at the Diamond League meeting in London in 2 weeks' time. It's also day 2 of the Tour de France. You can see what happened in the team time trial at the BBC Sport website. But that's it. We count down a further hour, Roger and Emma, before we see England against Mexico.
There's still quite a long way to go, isn't there?
We'll get tired even before it's 1 a.m.
19 hours or something, roundabout. Anyway, thank you, Hugh.
Cheers, Hugh. Well, we'll be back with the headlines at 7, but now it's time for Talking Movies.